So it's raining. Hopefully that'll wash away the sins of this day.
Well.
What's up, Death Dolls? How y'all doing? Just at the top of the hour, just want to say, so have you ever had one of those days that doesn't completely suck, but it wasn't by any stretch of the imagination fantastic? That's the kind of day we're rolling on. But it's been wonderful. Sometimes you have to give yourself, credit for just showing up. Sometimes you have to be like, you know what? I got out of bed today. Gold star.
Yes, honey. You got a star next to your name.
Exactly. And, I live for the gold stars. I live for them. It's raining where we are, so if you can hear that.
Ignore it. Maybe you'll be settling. Maybe you'll like it.
Oh, maybe you will like it.
Maybe you'll paint the scene, huh?
Yes.
I'm Mocha Pennington, by the way.
Yeah, I'm Nicky Elliott Nelson. And thank you for joining us here on Makeup&Murder, the true crime YouTube channel where we talk about health, fitness, beauty, and we also bring you a very true crime story.
Mm-hmm.
Guess we're here.
Yes, honey.
Guess we're doing this shit.
Twerking.
And and just sometimes a nice, decent twerk is all it takes to plummet you from the pits of hell, and maybe you'll go under the hell.
You never know. Maybe it's anyone's guess.
It's really anyone's guess. How you been?
Me or them?
Well, I mean,
let us know how y'all been.
how have y'all been? Have y'all been good?
I hope so.
That's fantastic. You got a new dog. That's great. We expect lots of puppy pictures.
Oh, yes.
Most definitely. Anybody get any new sex toys?
Let me know. Y'all got the rabbits?
No. Look at you there. That's always good.
Oh, you got a strap on. That's fun. I'm glad to hear that.
Self-love is real love.
Pagan. Get a girl.
You know what? It gets hard out here for a pimp when you're trying to make that money for the rent. Anyway, you guys, we have some really good story for you today, or at least I hope we do, because it is Mocha's turn. She is going to give us a beautiful, sick, twisted fantasy. But first, Mocha, darling, do you have any products that you would like to talk about?
I do, honey. I got my BoxyCharm on Monday, sweetie. I was gonna talk about a book, but I was like, well, let me cut back on some time, so I'm not going to, but it looks like I put the stuff back in the packaging, so that was stupid. But anyway, if you don't know what BoxyCharm is, it's a monthly subscription box, $35, honey. You get 5 full-size products, and you get a cute little card, it tells you what the theme is, which you look at it and what? It will say oh, summer forever, and then you open it up and there's a pair of gloves. You're just
That's winter, but sure.
That's how it is.
Let me see your box this week. It does not look like it's been through the pits of hell. Sometimes your BoxyCharm comes and it looks like it has seen better days.
The people at the post office, honey, they just beat it up.
Yeah. Like my ex.
But today, the thing is go all out, honey.
Oh.
And I don't know if you can
see
that or not.
Can't see it from the flash, but there you go. Go all out.
So you get a collagen gel eye pads for anti-aging and anti-wrinkling and reduce. I haven't opened it up yet, but these are cute. Can you see it? There you go. And I got this iconic London bronzer, which I am obsessed with.
Do you like it?
I love it. It's one of my favorite items I got in the BoxyCharm. Let me see this.
She took my fan.
Love her. What color did I get? Deep bronze, which I thought it would be a little too dark for me, but it's not. It works really well. Wearing it now. I love her. I got this cute little correcting oil. I don't know what it's supposed to do. What does it do? I put it on before I do my makeup, y'all. It's cute. I like it. She smells real good.
Is it pineapple?
No.
Oh, hibiscus. How am I supposed to use, Oh, okay.
She smells real good. She smells like flowers.
Ooh.
There's flower extract in it or some shit. It's real good. I have put it on. And then I got this little pineapple glowing mist. You're supposed to put it on like right after you get out the shower, after you cleanse your face. It has like acid in it to hydrate, but I use it as a setting spray as well. I was like wondering, like, what would it look like? And I sprayed it on and it was like lovely. And I was like, well, hell, why not? So I use it for that. It smells like pineapple. Give her a little whiff. She smells pretty good.
Where's the... Oh.
She smells real good.
Yeah.
I like her.
She's cute.
She's $38. Now everything in the box is like, it equals to like over $100.
Right.
So you spend $35 for over $100 in items. And they're all good for full size. I also got mascara, but I forgot to bring her out.
Did you like it?
I mean, I wear false lashes. Whenever I got it, I was like, why? But I was like, but I do need more mascara because I just ran out. So she came in handy.
So there you go. There you have it. Well, you know, my tips for, you know, health, fitness, wellness, beauty. Never eat yellow snow. That will keep you healthy if you avoid eating yellow snow.
I can imagine.
We got some good story for you guys today. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I am, honey.
Do this shit. All right, girl, take it away.
All right, honey. I'm about to tell y'all about Laurie Bembenek. Bambi on the run, honey. Ooh. Okay. Now, y'all have to forgive me in advance because some of the last names are kind of like difficult. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? So, like, forgive me. On May 28, 1982, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Sean Schultz, an 11-year-old boy, is woken up shortly after 2 a.m. when feeling someone trying to put something around his neck, honey. He then feels a gloved hand over his mouth. Sean starts kicking and screaming, waking up his 7-year-old brother, Shannon, who was in the same room as him. No longer wanting to be bothered with the two, honey, the attacker runs out the room. They then hear their mother begging to be left alone, followed by an explosion, which Sean described as sounding like a firecracker. When Sean and his brother go to check on their mother, they see the attacker leaving through the back door, honey. Yep. They find their mother, 30-year-old Christine Schultz, lying unmoving in bed with a bandana tied around her face. The two brothers locked themselves in their mother's bedroom and called her boyfriend, Stuart Honnick, who was a Milwaukee police officer, honey. Stuart and the responding officers hurried to Christine's house. Shortly after their arrival, they are joined by Detective Fred Schultz, who is Christine's ex-husband.
Okay. So they're both on the force. So the boyfriend, so she's got a type.
Yeah, okay. She definitely does.
Okay.
Christine was found lying face down on her bed, dressed in a t-shirt and underwear or panties. You know, people don't like to wear panties, so either way.
Yeah.
She had a bullet hole in her back. She was shot so close that there was burns around the wound. The bullet went straight through her heart. While the investigators were combing her room for any evidence, they came across 2 strands of hair on the bandana. Christine and Fred's children are asked to give like a description of the attacker, and Sean described them as a tall, broad-shouldered, masked man with the reddish brown ponytail, dressed in a jogging suit, which I heard like 3 different things either. A jogging suit, a track suit, or an army jacket.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna say a jogging suit.
Okay.
When he describes the shoes, which were low-cut and black, the shoes police officers wear, everyone in the room started side-eyeing Stuart and Fred. They're like, wait, hold on, honey.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
When Christine was 18, she married Fred, who was 19 at the time.
Okay.
Christine came from a big family and wanted to have one of her own. Soon after she and Fred married, they started trying to get pregnant. Fred began climbing the ladder in the Milwaukee Police Department and was able to have their family home like built from scratch. Not like Susan Monica, but like contractors and people really building it.
Good. So like he wasn't out there with like...
He wasn't out there with a hammer and nails like
Gotcha.
Susan Monica was.
Gotcha, okay.
Fred was said to be the life of the party.
Okay.
He went out with his friends to bars, drinking, dancing. He was out in those damn bars so much people started calling him Disco, honey. Honey, I mean, you can't earn the name Disco without getting attention from the women now. He loved the attention so much, he started having affair after affair. He sure did, honey. Miss Christine got tired of it. She's like, you know what? No, I don't want no cheating man, honey. How about we just, like, split up? Because I can't deal with it anymore.
Okay.
I was like, okay, they did. You know, the damn ink on the divorce papers didn't dry when Mr. Disco Fred Shaws met 22-year-old Laurie Bembenek. Sorry. He was like 32 at the time, and she was 22. She fell hard for him, and they were quickly engaged after meeting. Now, Miss Christine she wasn't going to sit there, honey, and let her bed go cold. Now, nuh-uh. She fell into the arms of Fred's friend, Stuart. Mm-hmm.
Oh, his friend.
His friend, honey. Obviously, Fred, you know, he wasn't happy about it, but she was like, well, you cheating. You out there running the streets. I'm about to have me a man. A good one. Fast forward to back to the night of May 28th, 1982 at Christina Schultz's house. The police officers are all looking at Stuart and Fred like, what's going on? Wondering if one of them had killed Christine. So, you know, they was like, well, we need to ask them a few questions, honey. Now, Stuart tells the officers that he and Christine had spent all day together. He left her house. He lives like 2 blocks away.
Okay.
He left her house at around 10, and they spoke on the phone at 11 before he went to bed.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. Well, before the officers were able to speak to Fred, an officer who was working with Fred that night comes up and was like, he pulls him to the side. The officer's like, let me tell y'all something right quick, okay? He was like, Fred earlier in the night was ranting and raving about Christine and all the money he has to give her in child support and how he still has to pay the mortgage on the house that he built that he don't even live in anymore. So he was pissed about it. So they're like, okay. So the officers talked to Fred. So where were you earlier? And Fred was like, well, I was at the time that Christina was murdered, I was investigating a burglary with another officer named Michael. Michael backed up his story. He's like, yeah, honey, he sure was. He was with me. So the officers investigating the murder went to the neighbor's house asking if they had seen anything strange. And all the neighbors were like, honey, for the last few weeks, we've been seeing a man in a green jogging suit in the area, honey. We even seen him standing in front of Christine's house a few times.
You couldn't tell a bitch?
Okay. So the police officers were able to find the man the neighbors described. They brought him in for questioning. He confirmed, he was like, I do have a green jogging suit, actually. And he also told him that the night Christine was murdered, someone had broken into his house and stole a gun from him and his beloved jogging suit. Well, the police, they was like, well, hold on, let me go check like the registration records to see if he owns a gun. And he didn't. He didn't own no damn gun, honey. He was lying about the whole damn thing. He had a thing for Christine. He was like one of those people that like wanted attention really bad, so he just make up lies. He was lying and he had a thing for Christine. That's why, I don't know, honey. So they was like, well, shit. I mean, he had a crush on Christine. He just wanted to be part of the investigation. So I was like, okay, whatever, girl.
I could think of better ways to... No.
Honey?
That's weird.
Well, the police turned their attention back to Fred. Upon digging deeper into his story, they realized that Fred not only has a key to the house that Christina lives in, but he also lied to them. It turned out 2 other parole officers investigated the burglary that Fred had said that he was with Michael. Mm-hmm. And whenever he was caught in his lie, he was like, okay, hell, let me tell you the goddamn truth. Shit. Me and Michael was at the damn bar, honey. We were drinking at the bar while we were on duty, okay? He was like, God damn. And he was like, well, I'll do a polygraph test. He was like, you don't believe me? And they was like, okay. So they did it, and he passed. He was telling the truth. He was at the damn bar.
Hopefully he still lost his job for drinking on duty.
Mm-mm. Oh. When Fred was released, he told the officers that the only other person who has access to his off-duty gun was his wife, Laurie. So Laurie Bembenek, I hate her last name because I just can't pronounce it. I'm sorry, y'all. Bender, whatever. I'm sorry. She was
Bembenek?
It's something like that, honey. I'm sorry, y'all. Don't hate me. But she was born August 15th, 1958. She was described as being fun, outgoing, and a blonde bombshell, honey. She was like 1980s fabulous. Early in her childhood, she wanted to take after her father, who was a police officer. After she graduated high school, she had a brief career as a model, and then she started training to be a police officer. Shortly after graduating from the police academy in 1980, Laurie was fired. They done thought that, like, someone said that she was smoking weed at a concert, honey. She was smoking with the weed at the concert. She was like, that never happened. I didn't do that.
Wait, you can get fired for smoke? I mean, oh, it's the 80s.
It's 1980s.
Okay. The devil's lettuce.
So they fired her. She started working as a security guard at a bar where she earned the nickname Bambi, honey. And she also met Fred, working there.
That's how a love story started.
The Milwaukee Police Department was very familiar with Laurie, honey. Because after she was fired, she filed a lawsuit against them after noticing that women and non-white men were getting fired shortly after they graduated for the academy. They only hire like the white men. And she was like, oh no, honey. Nope. So she filed a lawsuit. I don't know if she won or not. There's no information on it. But she filed one because she was like, no, this is messed up, honey. I didn't do that. So like they fired them for like petty ass reasons. When Laurie was brought into the station for questioning, she told them that the night Christina was murdered, she and her mother were up until 11 a.m. packing. She and Fred were moving into a new apartment. On June 10th, 1981, a woman had called the plumber after noticing her toilet was clogged. The plumber pulled out a reddish-brown wig from the pipes. She had no idea how it got there, but she believed maybe her former neighbors, Fred and Laurie, might, because they shared plumbing with their next-door neighbor in the old apartment before they moved. Now, the wig was brought to the police, and the hair matched the same strand of hair, one of the strands of hair that was found on Christine. A synthetic, honey. She didn't have the human hair. It was synthetic. The police found out that Fred and Laurie used to have a roommate named Judy, who graduated from the police academy with Laurie. So they became friends. They met at the police academy. They was like, oh, honey, we're having some money. We're having some money issues, girl. You want to come in and be
your roommate?
She was like, hell yeah, I got fired. I don't know if that's true or not.
Right.
Judy claimed that Laurie had a green jogging suit, and she had a bandana similar to the one found tied around Christina's face. Judy's mother also commented that she overheard Laurie saying one night that Christine deserves to be blown up for taking so much money from Fred's checks, forcing them to live into a smaller apartment. She was pissed that they had to downgrade because he's paying the mortgage, he's paying the child support. Apparently, Laurie wasn't too happy with that. And that came as a shock to everyone because her and Christine, they weren't best friends, but they got along pretty well. It was like, well, honey, we're in each other's lives, so make the most of it, huh? The police...
Or so we think.
The police examined Fred's off-duty gun, and the bullets in the gun matched the bullets found in Christine. The police went to Laurie's job and asked to search her locker. They took out a hairbrush from Laurie, which matched this. They tested it, and it matched the second strand of hair found on Christine, honey.
So this was like her everyday wig? No, this was so she wore it so often that...
No, she didn't. It wasn't something she just wore.
Okay.
Yeah.
She happened to brush it a couple of times. Okay. That's a choice.
Well, hold on. All suspicion from Fred's involvement dropped in favor of Laurie, and they arrested her, honey. The media had a field day with the case. They began calling Laurie Bambi, and they betrayed her as a slutty blonde who was addicted to living a luxurious lifestyle and wanted Christine murdered so she can live the lavish lifestyle that she deserved, honey. In March of 1982, Laurie's trial began. The prosecutors believe that Laurie used Fred's spare key and gun, dressed in a green jogging suit and wig, went to Christine's house, killed her, then went back home, changed into normal clothes, stuffed the wig in the toilet, and played ignorant when Fred told her about the murder. Now, Laurie's defense team reminded the jury that all the evidence against her was circumstantial, and that Michael had first lied about where Fred was that night.
So the defense team said, no, we're gonna pin this back on.
Okay.
Okay.
And they also pointed out that Sean was adamant about the murder being a man. Like, even in the trial, he was like, it was a man. It was a man that came in this damn house and acted a damn fool. It was a man. It wasn't a woman. It was a man. When Laurie took the stand, the jury described her as cold and aloof. Her demeanor hurt her case, honey, because on March 9th, 1982, Laurie was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. But her story doesn't end there, honey.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. In June of 1983, Laurie filed for divorce against Fred, Avi.
From prison?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Although he stood by her side during the trial, he later changed his mind after she was convicted. He sent her a letter saying that he moved to Florida and was living with a 19-year-old woman, honey. Laurie believed that Fred had hired a man named Freddie to kill Christine and let her take the fall. The lawyer who Fred hired was a friend of Fred's and failed to show the jury any evidence that connected Fred to the murder. Laurie filed 3 appeals that were denied. She claimed that the police mishandled key evidence in the case, and her ex-roommate, Judy, remember Judy, y'all? Oh, she recanted her previous allegations. Judy has said that she was under immense pressure with the authorities to say, like she was under immense pressure. Whenever she was questioned, she was like, honey, actually, that brown wig, or that reddish brown wig, that was mine. If I have to be honest, it's my hair. That was mine. Now, Freddie, remember Freddie, the guy who she claimed was the one, who killed?
Yeah.
Who was hired.
Yeah.
Well, Freddie, who murdered Christine, was involved in a robbery, and he was in a standoff with the Milwaukee Police Department. He was on the phone while the standoff was happening. He was on the phone with one of assembly of his, and he told them that he's like, they're gonna kill me to keep me from saying that the person who murdered Christine was me. And then he was he was murdered. He was shot to death. He got killed, honey. Now, Laurie was in prison for 8 years when she met Dominic, her cellmate's brother. The two became engaged quickly after, honey.
Yeah.
In July of 1990, Miss Bambi, honey, she escaped the prison through a window in the laundry room, honey. And she was picked up by Dominic. The news of her escape made headlines, along with the information about Freddie, what he said,
yeah.
And Judy taking back her statements. And the citizens of Milwaukee said if they see Laurie, they're going to look the other way. And then T-shirts were printed out with Laurie's face on it, and it said, "Run, Bambi, run." Laurie was on the run for 3 months, honey. She was spotted in Canada by a tourist who has seen her on America's Most Wanted. Now, Dominic was captured and he was sentenced to a year in prison, but the Canadian government was sympathetic towards Laurie. It was like, no, honey, something ain't right. It was like, we will release her under one condition, that y'all need to give her a retrial.
Canada, there are stipulations here. You can't just have her. Sorry. They're like,
we need to do a retrial.
We need a retrial. Okay, Canada. We see you, Canada.
So they gave her a retrial, and it showed the evidence that the Milwaukee Police Department mishandled the case. It was like 7 things that they mishandled.
Yeah.
Honey. In 1992, Laurie was released from prison. She wrote a book about her misadventures. She failed, and then she later filed for bankruptcy. And she moved to Canada to be closer to her retired parents. And she met a man named Marty Carson, who she married but later divorced. But it was like, we still friends.
It was like on good terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in November 10th, 2010, Laurie passed away from liver failure, and she was in a hospice.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yes, honey. Laurie
What
baby
a
on the
story.
run.
That's so fun. Like, all the citizens were like,
They said, no, honey. Because she was like adamant, like the beginning, like, no, they have it out for me because of that damn lawsuit that I filed against them. They have it out for me.
Oh my God. So, Freddie, what did we ever learn about? What was Freddie's motivations for killing Christine?
She said, I believe my husband hired him.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so he just mysteriously died, or?
No, he was in a robbery. He was like robbing people. I mean, he wasn't like an ideal citizen.
Yeah.
But he was like robbing people, and the police found out, and then it was like a standoff, and he was like, honey, I guess he's been telling people. Like, he's been bragging around town for some reason. I don't know. But
why would you do that?
He's the one that killed Christine. He was like, and I got out scot-free.
And they were like, oh, if our story's gonna stick, we need you to shut up.
we need, because they were. I feel like they were protecting Fred,
right?
The detective,
right?
Because, honey, they didn't present any evidence.
So I just feel like I don't know, like what is inside someone's mind. Because here's the thing, I don't know. I'm not going to protect a coworker that I know is guilty of like murder. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't know. I can't see it. I don't see it.
I mean, they were supposed to examine his gun, like, but I guess Michael, his partner, he like looked at the gun and was like, oh no, this is old. It hasn't been fired. And like they brought it back in, like, no, we need to do and now it's just on it, honey.
Where's internal affairs in this like situation? Like, cause you would think that there would be, and I don't know how IA works, but you would think like if a police officer was like getting fingered for a job, like why doesn't IA immediately step in? Like, why would you expect that anyone on a part of the same unit as someone who's being like, you know, fingered for murder is actually going, like, they're each other's besties. Like,
honey, I got it good, because he moved away, honey.
I mean,
living in Florida with a young woman.
And that's another thing, too. Like, big red flag. Like, he immediately moves away and then finds a yet even younger woman.
Honey.
Like, dude, that is weird. You know what? Laurie deserved better.
Yeah, she did.
Laurie deserved so much better than what she got. And Fred is an asshole.
Isn't he?
That's what I'll say about that. I'm going to check out one. Now, you said, because the research that you did from this, you researched Wikipedia and Snapped. And I remember you were, like, trying to tell me earlier, but you didn't want to give away your story.
Like, all the details about her roommate saying that wig was hers and the whole bit about Freddie.
Yeah.
That was on the Wikipedia. They didn't put that in the Snapped episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they were just trying to, like, Hollywood the story.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't give all the things. I kind of wonder why. Like, so the roommate, okay, she was, like, under immense pressure.
Yeah, they were like,
say it's yours, say it's yours.
Yeah, she was like, fine, she has a green tracksuit.
Oh, yeah, say it's hers.
She has a bandana.
Yeah.
And, yeah, but she was like, no, honey, she don't.
I don't know. Like, if you were in the same situation, do you think, like, I think someone trying to pressure me to say it was mine would make me, like, want to rebel. Like, no, bitch, I said it's not mine.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want? What do you want?
So they can.
I have no warrants. I've had no criminal, like, you know what I'm saying?
Stories about, like, sometimes if they want you to admit something, they will go to drastic lengths
to get you to do it.
Yeah.
That's, like, almost criminal within itself, isn't it?
Honey. It's 2021, and we all know how the police are. So.
Well, I mean,
especially back in the 1980s.
Because it's just like that thing of like absolute power, right? I mean, I think, of course, you know, there's still large sects of the community who have like a tremendous amount of respect for the police authority, but I think that was even more so in the 80s. It was just like this thing of like absolute power and like, but because I would like to believe that everybody joins the force under good. They have good intentions at first.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder what happens with the psyche of someone who just like, at first they join for all of the right reasons. And then all of a sudden you're helping Fred cover up a murder.
Yeah, honey. I don't know. Like, I always go back and forth. I'm like, did she do it or didn't she? Because I don't know.
I personally think what are you trying to force someone to say a wig belongs to someone else when it belongs to them? But I'm also confused at why you would flush a wig down a sink or down a toilet.
Yeah, if you were going to get rid of it, just throw it away in the garbage. I don't know. Like, part of me is like, well, maybe he did hire, because children are adamant. Like, there was a man in the place with that wig on, honey. It was a man.
Yeah.
It was a broad shoulder man. Like, Laurie was like 5'10", and they said the person was tall and broad shoulders. And Laurie, she wasn't broad shoulders.
She was like slender. You know what?
I've been mortified. Like, how dare you think that I have broad shoulders? No, I'm just joking.
What do you guys
Yes, honey.
think?
What is your opinion? Did she do it? Didn't she?
I love when you like tell a good story, because it can totally like put me like, of course, like this story was exactly what this week needed, because coming into this I was just like a little bit melancholy, and then like, I mean, it sort of had a happy ending, don't you guys think, a little bit?
I thought so.
I mean, it's unfortunate she passed away from liver failure, but like, just to like see the citizens come together and be like, we're gonna turn the other cheek.
Never, I was right in that part, honey. I started to get a little teary.
You got a little misty?
I was like, stop, bitch.
Yeah.
Think you about to ruin your
Yeah,
makeup.
I had like a bit of an emotional connection there too. I was just like, oh, that's sweet. And then Canada, you know what? Go Canada. Good for Canada. Just when you think humanity is like over and done with, at an all-time low, Canada always comes in to just say, what's this about? You know? And really make you, change your perspective. So fucking love Canada. Gotta love it. Well, you know what, Death Dolls? This was such a good story this week. We had such a good time. Thank you for hanging out with us.
I always appreciate you guys hanging out, giving a cheeky watch.
Giving us a lift up whenever, times maybe not that great. So why don't you guys, as always, comment in the description box. Let us know what story you want to see next week. And remember, life's a blush, and then you die.